from campus. Come on, tell me walk one. Campus connection, yeah, that's a one. Yeah, walk one from campus. How we are carry lot from campus. Come on, tell me walk one. Campus connection, yeah, that's a one. Hey, some make us again listen, let me tell you this. Students, I will make we do this. Oh yes, we create this space just for you. Make we talk about you, make we talk about school, government and politics, sports, academics, anything that concern you. I don't know when love pass through. It's all about the gospel. So tell me what one from campus. Youths are going on from campus. Come on, tell me what one. Campus connection, yeah, that's a one.
Hello.
Oh boy, greetings world. Welcome to Campus Connection here on the family station Love 101. We are together
Love
again.
101. 101.
Just praise the Lord.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we're brought to you by, of course, Heart NSTA Trust. I'm Jonathan Fletcher, and with me is my co-host,
Anesta Samuels, it is a privilege to be here once again. I know I always say that, but it really is. And that's
It's a
why I
privilege
always say that.
for real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And we're
Agree.
talking about the importance of family today, which I'm excited about. I feel like we have, we've dealt with the parenting, we've dealt with the foster home situation, we've dealt with almost every aspect, but now we're dealing with just the
Family.
importance of family life. I think this is gonna be really, really good.
Absolutely. I am inclined to agree. As a matter of fact, as you said that, I'm looking at it and I was like, I know the show is called Campus Connection, but I think we're such a well-rounded show as we touch on a lot of different topics, relevant topics to what's happening in the society. But I guess that's a true reflection of campus life.
Exactly, because it's really not, just about going to school. There are a lot of other factors. So we definitely have to make sure we talk about those things too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're really looking forward to this evening's show. Wonderful, wonderful show lined up. So let me just give you an understanding of why we're saying it's a wonderful show. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're going to start off with our campus alert feature, and then we're going to our education news and bulletin. Then we have our honor roll guest with us this evening, Samaya Russell from the UTech School of Engineering, and she's the spiritual development coordinator for that, school. And we also have an I Chose Christ feature, which promises to be very, very inspiring, every kind of
Yeah.
inspiring that you can think of. Yeah, man. Yeah, we have that. And then we're going to go into our main discussion, and we are going to speak about the importance of family with Nicole Adamson, director of the Jamaica Island Nutrition Network, and Nicole and Harvey from University of the West Indies, and of course Romario Mitchell, from the Passion and Purity, and Sheikah Walsh, Family and Counseling Ministries Director, Church of God of Prophecy, James Mountain. Because the truth is, family is a precious gift and plays a significant role in shaping our lives, providing emotional support, socialization, and practical help.
Yes. So that's definitely why we want to touch on this. And I'm, just before the show, I was looking through or honor roll Samoya Russell's her resume. I was looking through her list of accomplishments. And
Why you
let's
always do that to yourself? No, why you always do that to yourself?
because I like you know what? You're right. I
No, for
really
real.
shouldn't do it to myself, but I like to get acquainted with the people that we're about to
That's
talk
true.
to.
That is true.
And it's very
A lot.
intimidating.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just say it's gonna be a lot. Yeah.
It's going to be a lot. But I'm really looking forward to the conversation or the conversations that we'll be having in this evening's show. And I
Yeah.
sincerely hope that you are looking forward to it as well. As a matter of fact, pause for a cause right now if you're on the live stream at Love 101 FM Jamaica on YouTube, on TikTok, or on Facebook, please go ahead. Share the live stream with a family member, a friend. Share it with your enemy. All right? Kill them with love. Literally, like, you get that?
Yeah, I
Right.
got
Oh,
wow.
okay, cool, cool. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Sometimes these things just come to me.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
see.
man, give them some love. Share some love with them. Share the live stream with them. So let's just have a wonderful time in this evening's show. It's going to be a wonderful time in the presence of the Lord. That's very churchy, right? What I said
Mm,
just now. Amen.
yeah,
We're going to have a wonderful time in the presence of the Lord. And
yeah.
as we continue in the presence of the
You're
Lord,
not wrong.
yeah. Remember, this is scholarship application season, so students should search for relevant information on various grants and scholarships that are available to them. Students, please do not limit yourself or stick to only one option, but seek proper guidance and advice. Go for the scholarship that is right for you. Right? Yeah. And of course, if you want to be a part of Campus Connection Schools, we're encouraging you to send us your information, your notices, all of those things, so we can big up what needs to be bigged up and enhance what needs to be enhanced. Right?
Oh,
I don't know if bigged up is yeah, past tense of big up is bigged up. You didn't know that?
I mean, it makes sense,
Makes
and I
sense.
think
I'm
it's
just
only
saying.
right. So,
Just saying.
yeah.
But yeah, let's continue in the show. It's time now for education news and bulletin, and this will be done by Camille Lawrence, our campus consultant.
And bulletins for Tuesday, May 27, 2025. Phase 2 rollout of rural school bus program set for September. Phase 2 of the government's rural school bus program will be rolled out in time for the start of the 2025-2026 academic year in September. The initiative, now in its first phase in St. Thomas, St. Catherine, and Clarendon, aims to ease challenges faced by rural students and enhance their safety during daily commutes. Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport, Honorable Darrell Vaz, said the continued rollout will see dedicated school buses being provided to approximately 258 of the over 850 rural schools, which is just about 30% of the total rural population. He was making his contribution to the 2025-2026 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, May 20. Mr. Vaz said the buses provided will be exclusively for students and will not accommodate other passengers. He emphasized that the government is not competing with rural taxi operators, but is instead focused on making student transportation easier, safer, and more secure. Minister Vaz further stated that the buses will be equipped with attendance tracking to monitor student presence, maintain accurate records for accountability, and ensure no student is left behind or misplaced during transit. Yes, I can. Cudjoe scholars inspired to rise above circumstances. 18 university students who grew up in state care expressed gratitude after receiving scholarships from the Children of Jamaica Outreach Cudjoe Foundation last Wednesday during its annual awards luncheon at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. The awardees received a combined US $60,000 or $9 million Jamaican dollars in scholarships from Cudjoe in honor of the foundation's 30th anniversary. Guest speaker Audrey Tugwell Henry, president and CEO of Scotia Group Jamaica, encouraged the awardees to embrace resilience with the mantra, "Yes, I can," urging them to face challenges with courage and perseverance. Christopher Dawes, a final year Shortwood Teachers College student, delivered the address on behalf of the recipients. Cudjoe Foundation CEO Gary Williams beamed with pride as he reflected on the foundation's impact. He encouraged the students to remain steadfast despite life's obstacles. And now for the bulletins. Applications are now open for the Patricia Thompson Memorial Nutrition Scholarship, a 2-year award supporting students pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics at the University of Technology, Jamaica. The scholarship is available to eligible students entering their 3rd year this fall 2025. Applications can be submitted to the UTEC Scholarship Office or emailed to financialaidutech@gmail.com. Deadline for application is May 30, 2025. The Patricia Thompson Memorial Scholarship honors our founder's legacy of being a dedicated nutritionist and a public health advocate, and it aims to continue her work by supporting the next generation of leaders in the field. Passion and Purity presents Youth Summer Camp 2025. Mark your calendars. Save the date. August 7 to 9, 2025. Happening at the New Generation Campsite, Cranbrook Estate, St. Anne. The perfect place to grow, connect, and get inspired. Only 12,000 Jamaican dollars with a deposit requirement of $4,000 due by June 6. Final payments are due by July 31. For registration and other details, visit at Passion and Purity JA. That's Passion and Purity Youth Summer Camp 2025, August 7 to 9. Finding your passion, embracing your purity. The New Testament Church of God Jamaica National Education Support Initiative, in celebration of 100 years, is awarding 100 scholarships, each valued at 100,000 Jamaican dollars. Requirements can be found on the application form at www.ntcogjamaica.org. Application deadline is June 11, 2025. That's the New Testament Church of God Jamaica celebrating 100 years with 100 scholarships open to tertiary students across Jamaica. Call us at 876-927-7767 for more details. That's the education news and bulletins for Campus Connection. I am Camille Lawrence.
Thank you so much, Camille, for bringing us the education news and bulletin. Now, if you have not already done so, we are live on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. And we want to hear from you. How important is family to you? How important is family to you? Our studio lines are also open. If you want to chit chat with me and Jonathan, the numbers are 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328. So you want to call in and talk with us, you can do so using those numbers. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp at 876-997-3125. How important is family to you? And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have our honor roll guest with us. Her name is Samoya Russell. She's from the University of Technology, Jamaica. Boop, boop, boop. And she is the spiritual development coordinator for the School of Engineering. Did I get that right?
Yes, indeed. For the
I'm not going to. I'm not going to list all of your accomplishments. Like,
don't know if we have the time. I don't know if we have the time
on the show to do this. It's
so many
so
accomplishments.
Much. But let me just start off by saying this one. Her current GPA is 3.99999.
Wow. Is that even so? Why them never just say 4.0? I don't understand.
Yeah, they
what's the reason?
Easily round that up to 4.
The point one. Come on, UTEC. Come on. Come on.
She is studying a Bachelor of Chemical Engineering at the University of Technology. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. We can't possibly say it all, but just know that she's very bright, she's very accomplished, and she's very involved, right? So, Samoya, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about why you're so motivated and why you have been able to accomplish so much in such a short time. I mean, you're still a university student. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, to be honest, I attribute my motivation and drive to the Lord, because I really can't explain it as to why I'm driven to do all these things, but I can also attribute it to my good support system my family, my also smart and involved friends, my community, my church family, they also support me and help me to continue doing well.
Hmm.
Wow, that's powerful. You mentioned just now you're smart and also involved friends, right? How important is it to be around like-minded people? How has that helped in your development?
Well, birds of a feather flock together. So persons
True.
who are also doing work and, you know, developing themselves, it encourages you to continue to develop yourself also, because there are times when you become demotivated, you become discouraged, and you need that friend to call upon to help you to continue pushing, help you to continue going, and to check up on you so that you continue working and developing and bettering yourself.
Mm.
Wow, that's absolutely powerful. I, wow, so excited to continue the conversation with you. However, we have to take a quick break. You want to stick and stay with us. We're in our honor roll segment here on Campus Connection on the family station Love 101. We'll be back after these messages.
Campus heights. Students are strap up in a price. We are, yeah.
CC Winans brings her More Than This tour to Jamaica, joined by Chevelle Franklin, Kevin Downswell, Prince Sar, Jean-Marc Wigan, MCs IT and Nadine Blair. Tickets are going fast. General 6,000, VIP 20,000, VVIP 32,000. Limited time offer now. Get your tickets at select locations island-wide or online at sparopen.com. Follow at More Than This Jamaica on Instagram for more details. CC Winans, More Than This, King's House, East Lawns, Friday, August 1. Are you ready?
This Wednesday, May 28, you're invited to listen to the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development sectoral debate presentation by the Honorable Desmond McKenzie at Gordon House, 81 Duke Street, Kingston, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. live on Love 101 FM radio. That's the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development sectoral debate, Wednesday, May 28, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Listen live on the family station Love 101.
Okay. Where are the campus heights? Students are strap up in a price.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection. We are currently in our honor roll segment with Samaya Russell, UTech Spiritual Development Coordinator for the School of Engineering, and a lot more things, right? Not just that, a lot more things, right? So we want to continue the conversation with her, just to get an understanding of where she is now and where she envisions herself.
Right. So I am studying chemical engineering now, and I look to finish the degree and to go into the field as a chemical engineer or even other avenues, because it's such a wide degree that I can do so many different things with it. So there are different industrial plants that I can work at, and who knows from there.
Mm. So, do you think that um, being a female going into chemical engineering, what mark do you hope to make? Do you feel like you can make a mark in that field?
I think I can, as a female, going into that field in engineering overall, I'll be representing, a smaller population of people, and I'd be able to inspire young girls, other females who want to, see themselves in other well-established fields like that and can excel, and letting them know that they can excel in fields like that, So just
What
that
really,
representation.
if you will, what really sparked your interest to go into chemical engineering?
Okay, good question. So I enjoyed chemistry as a high school student, and I was unsure about what I wanted to do. First, it was medicine because that's the big thing everybody always wants to go into
Right.
medicine. But then I realized that I didn't love biology as much, and so I was looking into other avenues. And it was my engineering uncle and also my dad who does some level of engineering, I'd say. They inspired me to look into engineering, and my uncle told me about chemical engineering, and I researched it, and I said, okay, this seems cool. And even if it's not this, it opens the avenues for so many other things that I could do. And it's really interesting because I didn't want to be just a chemist that stays in the lab. I
Right.
wanted to do more than that. And engineers, they are always all over the place, in the lab, in the office, in the field. So it just seemed exciting. So I've been doing it so far. It's been challenging, but it's also been keeping me on my toes, to say the least. So
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm just sitting here and I'm so inspired by the way in which you look so composed, right? You look like everything is working out. It's supposed to work out. You look like you have everything,
University's a breeze.
Yeah, man, like everything good, right?
Yeah.
But understand, I know the reality, right? Especially when you're not just a student, but you are involved in extracurricular activities. How do you manage to stay focused? How do you manage to keep on top of things?
okay, another good and striking question. So really and truly, they speak about balance, but we all, well, all the student leaders, they know that it's all about a very calculated juggling act, where your priority is school, but you also have other responsibilities. So wherever you put your priority, you know that okay, I I'm gonna spend some time at this event, but that means that I need to put in the hours that I would have missed in this class or lecture so that I can keep up and keep going. As I said, I mentioned my support system, the other smart, involved friends that I have. They keep me motivated, they keep me accountable as to the work I need to do, and just knowing that even family, is looking up to you, saying that you can do it. So you try to keep up to those expectations, and you keep looking at to say, where will I be at the end of this? Why am I doing this? What is my why? It keeps you going after you realize that okay, I'm here struggling now, yes, but a very wise guy said to me once, the end crowns the work, which is our SOE rep. The end crowns the work where you will look back and say, wow, I would have done all of this. And you can really just attribute it to God, your support system, and the hard work that you would have put in. So it's just about you realizing everything that you need to do, and you carefully organizing things so that nothing is left to catch a fire, really, but everything is balanced in a way where you're switching from everything, but it keeps maintained, and it keeps it going in some way, shape, or form.
I as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about your one of your main roles is as spiritual development coordinator, and I'm hearing that coming through as you're sharing. And we were just reminded that you actually did a feature for us on why you chose Christ, why others should too. My question to you is this: how important is spiritual development for students? Campus life going on, so much happening, academics. How important is it to develop a strong spiritual foundation?
Really and truly, it's those little moments where we stop to have a devotion, or we share the Monday motivation, which truly, continue to help me and inspire me to go on. Because when you're so busy focused on, that's not due, that's due, and you have that test tomorrow, and that project is coming up, and it can be so rigorous for engineering students. But when you really stop to pause and really remember your foundation, really remember why you're going, it's not just because okay, you want to finish this degree, but you have a foundational belief that God placed you here. God placed you here to serve. God placed you here to impact these people around you, and God placed you here so He will not leave you here. So you have a trust and belief to know that while you're studying, while you're doing this, you're inspiring others. You're doing the work of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
You're inspiring others. So it's not just about the physical world, but it's about the people that you can impact. It's about the work that you're doing to represent the Lord, because only the best comes from God and His people. So it's just it just helps us stay grounded. It helps us to remember our creator, to remember who we are, remember what we really came here to do. And so it gives us joy, it gives us hope, it gives us faith to just carry on.
Wow.
Wow, wow.
Beautiful.
I'm so happy that you see things in that way, because a lot of the times we really miss the mark in understanding our why,
Yeah.
right? And I'm so very happy that you are not just saying that I'm at university to get a degree, but you're there to also impact lives. So, with that being said, we want to big you up, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing what you do. Yes, we're thanking you, right? Because not a lot of young people take the time out to really be an inspiration to others. So thank you for being who you are, and thank you for doing what you do. And we wish you all the very best for the future and all the endeavors that you will undertake.
Yes. And we're so, so proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Again, thanks for having me and continue doing what you're doing and inspiring all us youth out here.
Oh man. Oh,
When you met Jonathan start crying.
just catching me off guard. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
That was a moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful, wonderful interview there with Samaya Russell, a beautiful young lady she's doing beautiful things,
Yeah.
right? And we're very excited about what she's about to do.
Yes, and it's now time for I Chose Christ. I feel like it's a perfect time
Oh,
for I Chose
wonderful
Christ.
segue.
And it will be brought to us by Carissa Williams, a grade 13 student at the St. Catherine High School. Listen in and be blessed.
My name is Carissa Williams, and I'm a grade 13 student at the St. Catherine High School. My testimony for you is that, growing up, I've always heard about Jesus, being in a home with both Christian parents. But it wasn't until I faced a season of uncertainty about my future that I realized that I needed more than just the knowledge. I needed a relationship with Him. And one of my most memorable moments that God has came through for me was during my CSEC exams. I was so nervous and overwhelmed, and I just trusted God. I was always praying. I said, God, please help me throughout this question. And trust me, He helped me to remember what I had studied. And I'm telling you that experience strengthened my faith and reminded me that He's always with me. I want to say that also the ISCF family at my school is such a wonderful support group. They also helped me in my faith and so on. Since choosing Christ, I've experienced a deep sense of purpose and, confidence in knowing that I am never alone, especially with that support group. Yes, at ISCF. I really enjoy that. I advise everyone, whether you're young or you're older, to choose Christ. Not just to know of Christ, but to truly know Him personally. I choose Christ, you should too.
Amen.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Not just to know Him, but to really know Him.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it, I love it. All right. We have to go to a quick break, right? But we have a lot more
Guys,
in store for
Jonathan is
you.
still blushing from.
No, man. It's such a beautiful show. Come on, man. Such a
You
beautiful
need to
show.
hop onto the live stream if you haven't already done so.
Oh,
Because
please.
he cannot recover himself. This is
Boy.
hilarious.
Yeah. We're going to a break. Be back with more Campus Connection after these messages. Please stay with us.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strap up in a Christ. We see we are.
and human trafficking is everybody's business. Call 1-888-PROTECT to report suspected cases of child trafficking.
The time by the Ministry of National Security is
6 o'clock.
Don Martin Panton presents Praise in the Process of Victory, Saturday, June 7th at 7 p.m. at the Emmanuel Apostolic Church, Portmore, featuring Petra K, Jai Kingston, Levi's Heritage, Hubert Levy, Nickette Morgan Williams, Unity Singers, Shunammite Sisters, Women of Faith Praise Team, EAC Portmore Dance Ministry, Bishop T, MC Nadine Blair. Tickets available only at SpurOpen.com. Only $3,000. And if you can't be there in person, you can stream it online at SpurOpen.com/Praise in Victory. Only $2,000. Children pay $1,000 at the door. Don't miss it.
Want to win big? Scott's got you covered with a chance to win a 6-month supply of free Scott paper products. It's easy. Step 1, buy 2 or more Scott paper products. Step 2, write your full name, address, and phone number on a piece of paper and attach your receipt. Step 3, drop it in the entry box at any of the 14 participating outlets. Hurry, the promotion runs from April 26 to June 14. Grand draw takes place on June 20, 2025. One winner per parish will be chosen. Win big with Scott and keep life rolling. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strap up in a price.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Campus Connection. It is a lovely, lovely Tuesday afternoon, and we are here talking about, about to talk about the importance of family. And just before the break, we had our I Chose Christ feature. And before that, we had our honor roll segment with Samoya Russell, a promising student. And now we're going to get into family. We're going to get into talking about family. It's an important part of our lives. We all might be able to relate to having that sense of belonging, having a sense of support. And there are some more aspects of family that it's often overlooked. Emotional support is one of them. Family provides that acceptance, that love that we sometimes need. You know, sometimes we take for granted just being able to talk to a family member about a situation that's going on. It also helps us with socialization. A lot of times our very first lessons are taught within our families. Before we ever go to school, we learn our values, our belief systems, our behaviors from watching other family members. And it also provides an avenue for communication. So it's the first place we learn how to speak to people. You learn to say yes, mommy, no, mommy, yes, daddy, no, daddy. So there's lots of lessons to be learned inside of the family unit. And we have some guests with us who are here to help us unpack this topic of the importance of family. First, we have Nicole Adamson, the director of Jamaica Island Nutrition Network. We have Nicole Ann Harvey of the University of the West Indies. We have Romario Mitchell from Passion and Purity. And we also have Shika Walsh of the Family and Counseling Ministries, director at the Church of God of Prophecy in James Mountain. So we have quite a full panel today. And first of all, welcome everyone to the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time out to be with us for this, I would say, very important conversation, because based on what we see going on in our communities around us, our parishes, Jamaica on a whole, there's a lot of, I'd say a breakdown, if you will, of the family structure as we once knew it.
Yeah.
So it's very important we have conversations like this. But let's start the conversation this way, if you will. So family is a vital part of our lives, providing love, support, and a sense of belonging, right? So that's the basis of our conversation this evening. But a question I'd like to ask: what if you have a family? Stay with me. You have a family, but you do not see any love, support, or you don't feel a sense of belonging, right? Shika, you want to start us off with that one? What are your thoughts?
Hi, everyone, again. So the question is, what if you have a family but you don't feel any love, support, and all of those things?
Yeah.
Well, family in the sense of the word, you are related by blood. A lot of persons will say, oh, you don't have to be blood related to be family. But whether or not you feel loved, you feel accepted, you feel um like you're needed, you still have a family. But again, if you take it from the sense of not blood related family and you think of a church family or a work family or a school family, then there are other places that you can go and acquire that, hopefully positively. But it is really sad if you are within a family, blood related family, and you're not feeling that sense of love and camaraderie and feeling wanted. So that would I that don't feel good. I don't think I could survive on that one. Because that's where you first would want to learn and know how to actually love persons outside as well.
So let me ask this. Nicole, you're the director of the Jamaica Island Nutrition Network. And you deal a little bit with advocacy and speaking up for people who may not necessarily be able to speak up for themselves. How important would you say is it to have a stable family unit, especially for or campusites or students who are, they're in school and having that support system? How important is that?
So I want to take it from the area of our focus, which is nutrition, right? And right now we at Jamaica Island Nutrition Network, GIN, we focus on basic school nutrition. So nutrition at the most foundational level, kids, many families are not able to, based on their financial situation or maybe just, time, to be able to provide their kids with proper nutrition, with proper meals, 3 basic meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so the programs that we support in schools, where we do lunch in schools, and some of the schools also do breakfast, to give the kids that kind of nutritional foundation that they may not be able to get at home, is really important. It's important for the development of the kids as they get older, their ability to learn, their ability to process things, and, just stave away illnesses and so forth, build up their immune system. Nutrition is the foundation.
Yeah. And do you feel like well let me pose this question back to you. Do you feel like there's a certain structure that has to be in place in order for a family to prioritize nutrition? Because I feel like some background work has to be done before you can even see that as important.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of it is your own upbringing and what you have learned as you were growing up, and you implement it in your own family, right? But programs like these can help you to build your knowledge on what is nutritious, what is beneficial to your body, so that you can then help your family to grow in that way. We do, I don't know if this is a point where you want me to speak about our upcoming lecture.
Let's leave that till further down.
Yeah, but the government as well is trying to formalize this whole school nutrition program through their school nutrition policy. And I mean, we'll get to that at that point.
Absolutely.
Wow, so much to unpack As
Yes, it
I
is a lot.
listen to that just now. But to bring things into focus, because we want to really highlight the importance of family, right? And Shika would have alluded to the fact that family doesn't necessarily mean that it's only by blood or by marriage. There are other families that you can cultivate throughout life, families that you can be a part of, right? Um, Nicolan, you are a dedicated student at the University of the West Indies, right? And we know that as a campus site, sometimes things get hard, whether it's school, whether it's finances, whatever it is, things can get challenging. How important is family for you, especially in this season?
Um, Family is very important for me, like my blood family and my church family, as well as my school family. I remember during exam times, it was quite rough trying to like balance everything and focus. I know that I have exams, I need to study for this and that, and I also have rehearsals. But my friends, which I would classify as my school family, were like a key point. So where they'd say, Nicola, and you have this and this and this to do. They would keep me on track and keep me focused and grounded. While my home family, my actual family, will be there to give me support and say, you can do this. I remember I came home from my exam and I was like, Mommy, I failed. The exam was awful. It was bad. Like I crashed out, I cried, I vented to my friends. It was just bad. And I remember she looked at me and she said, it's okay, just pray about it. And sometimes it's just that little word in it that you can do it, or pray about it, or go talk to God, or somebody to tell her that it's okay. Because sometimes as students, we seem like failure is like a big thing. Oh my God, I failed something. But sometimes failure is just to make us be stronger. And sometimes it's our own family members who have failed are the ones to tell us that it's okay. You can still do it. They are your support system. Your church family is there to pray with you when you're going through certain things. So I think like family is very important, especially when you're going through university, because at university it's a big campus. The University of the West Indies is a very big campus. And there are
Yeah.
times where you feel lonely, you feel lost. And having a sense of home, a sense of belonging, that
Yeah.
All right.
Did you
Everything
hear
is
the
good?
last part that I said?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Sense of belonging.
Yeah, and that actually grounds you. So you know where to focus on, what are you supposed to focus on, yeah.
Hmm.
Love
Wow.
it.
Because the truth is, and I'm glad you shared with us the different aspects. So you talk about your biological family, and you also spoke about your adopted family, your school family. I don't know how to phrase it,
Family you
but
choose.
yeah, man, that's beautiful. Romario, as a young man, right? We understand that there are different things that are required of us as men. But we have to bring this up. The truth is, and I was talking to one of my friends some time ago about how absent, men are in the home,
Wow.
in families,
Mm.
right? Um, what are some of the things that you think can be done to encourage men to take their rightful place within the family?
Wow. That's a very profound question. Yes, it could take the rest of this program to answer that question,
All right,
and many more
let's
programs
try to
after.
answer. Let's try
All
to,
right,
yeah.
all right. So what I'm thinking now, we can, those who are reaching out to men, right? There are some organizations, they are reaching out to men and teaching them their rules, pointing back them to God and what God expects of them, right? So I'm thinking that those should definitely continue and be encouraged more, right? So oftentimes I would notice that some of these organizations, they don't have enough funding, right? At times to put on some more seminars and different intervention programs to really educate men and point them back to their purpose. So I believe it starts there. It starts with pointing them back to God, right? Yeah, so that's a good place to start. And from there, we can expound and break it down how we get them to really come to these seminars and so forth. Yes, and be educated more, right?
All right.
Love
All
it.
right.
Thank you so much, Romario, for giving us that perspective. We're gonna jump to a quick break, guys. But when we return, we want to continue this conversation on the importance of family. So please stay with us. More campus connection when we return.
So strap up in a price, we see yeah.
You can see the face, but not the heart of those who wanna do you wrong. So many.
Bless up. This is Christopher Martin. Human trafficking is a crime. Let's unite to end human trafficking. Be wise, open your eyes, spot them, stop them, and report them.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
No shadow at the dark. No shadow at the dark.
Rachel, congrats! I heard about your promotion and you just finished a master's. You're on a path to success. How do you do it?
Simple. Follow your heart, chase your career goals, and choose the bank that supports your journey.
Follow your heart to mentor, mother, or nurture. CIBC Caribbean is proud to empower women entrepreneurs and professionals like you. We provide women's empowerment benefits, including reduced fees, cashback, and more. Visit CIBCCaribbean.com/women in business for more information.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strap up in a price, we see yeah.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection here on the Family Station Love 101, and we're talking about the importance of family, right? Is your family important to you? Are you alone now? Do you think that you can do this life on your own? You don't need no mother, no father, no brother, no sister, no auntie, no uncle, nothing. You just want to do this thing on your own. Which brings me to asking you, Nicole, this question. When you do an examination of what is happening in our country right now, do you think that we should start by addressing the issues in the family? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, it's undeniable that the family is really an important foundational unit for a society, right? I have been fortunate to have a really tight-knit family since I was born up until now, both immediate family and extended family. And to me, that has set me up for a lot of success. They support me in all that I do. So, I mean, of course, it is important to foster this type of unit that can help to lift up our young people, right? But unfortunately, the reality is not everybody has it. But I think it was Nicola who touched on it, is that apart from the family that you're born into, there's also extended your family at school. There's your family at your church. There's your family in your community, the family that you choose, who you surround yourself with. And those are also important vehicles to build you up and help you to become a success in your life. So yes, we need to focus on the nuclear family, but let's not forget those other support systems that are beneficial and necessary even to help build up our young people today.
You know, I'm thinking about just the state of family life overall in our nation, I can't help but wonder what are some of the things that need to be done to really equip us as a people, as a nation, to deal with the issues that come up inside of our families. And Shika, you're a director of family and counseling ministries. So talk to us a little bit about how you go about equipping persons to deal with the challenges that come up in family, whether it's conflict or whatever it is. How do you go about doing that as a counselor?
All right, so I'm not a counselor, but I was just
Director of the
appointed.
family counseling ministry.
Strange, but I was recently appointed as a family and counseling ministry director at church,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's fairly new, like last
Okay.
week new. But what we have been doing is, and what we plan to do, is to have programs each Sunday. So normally when you go to church on a Sunday, you have your regular services and your praise and worship, the preaching and all of that. But the plans that we have in place are not to come to church and let it feel like a regular service. So when it comes to the family, you're talking about children, you're talking about a wife, a husband, or an aunt, an uncle. How do you cope within the family? Like last Sunday, we had uh, a workshop building resilient families, where we had a registered, or we call it now, a professional counselor that came in, and she basically spoke to what causes hurt, what causes pain, what is the background behind what would cause such things. So things like these we do. And also on Saturday, I had an expo where, persons are not just coming for the preaching and teaching, but you are coming to be holistic. You want to learn about how you get a house, how you get whatever it is. And from that, when persons are equipped with information and they see that persons are looking out for them, then it gives them that confidence to know that there's something there that can be done. And when you have that confidence, then within your family, you are able and you're better able to speak, to teach, to walk confidently, and to know that there's something that's out there that you can pursue. And when you have that level of feeling or getting the basic needs, then of course the hierarchy of needs, you can move up with that. And that's some of the ways that we try to reach the family within the church, from all levels, children to single ministry, the marriage and all of that. So those are the things that we do to reach the family within the church.
I love that. I absolutely love that. There are so many things that are going through my mind, because I really do believe that the family is very important. And I heard a preacher recently, he actually said that ministry starts in the home. And I am, inclined to agree with that, because a lot of the times we tend to neglect our family, right? And go out and we're evangelizing and bringing people to Christ, but we're not spending time with those who are directly around us, those who are our family. So, Romario, what I want to know from you, because you are part of Passion and Purity, which a lot of people consider to be a family, right?
Definitely. Big family.
Yeah, so, in short, how do you go about navigating this whole thing of evangelism outside of Passion and Purity? So right in your household, your family, your cousin, probably your aunt, etc. How do you deal with that?
Okay. All right. So my family have. All right, let me start here. I have a very loving family, and I grew up with a healthy perspective of family. Right? I
Awesome.
grew up in a nuclear family. I've always known my parents to be Christians, right? So whenever it comes to families, I'm a big promoter of families. I love when the father is there and present. And even in Passion and Purity, we do a lot of outreach to men, right? To encourage men. And remember earlier I mentioned starting with pointing the men back to their purpose, because actually the men are supposed to lead their families, and that leading should be more spiritual. I'm referring to when it says that the man is the head of the house. Yeah, that phrase. I mean, a lot of men have blown that out of context. So a lot of the things we do, a lot of the outreach we do, even in Passion and Purity, we teach that men are meant to lead more spiritually, ensure that their children are raised right, and so forth. Yes, so I'm not sure if I did justice to the question, as that was a profound question, but I attempted my best to give it some justice. So I hope that helps
Thank you, kind sir.
for
We
those
appreciate
listening.
it.
Absolutely. Nicole, and do you want to chime in on that really quickly? I know we only have a few minutes left, but you can go ahead.
Can you repeat the question fully?
So, Jonathan, can you repeat the question?
No,
It's
the
loaded.
question essentially, we want to not just focus on evangelizing outside of the home, outside of our families. How do we navigate ensuring that we bring this message of Jesus Christ to our family, right? The persons who may be around us, persons who are related to by blood, by marriage, etc. How do we go about doing that?
Okay. Honestly, I think you can go about it the same way with evangelize to any other person. But this might be a little easier because with this you actually know the person. You actually know where they're coming from, you know their perspective of things, so you can use that perspective in order to evangelize to them. Because it kind of looks away when you're bringing outside persons to Christ, but what about your family? What about the persons in your household who do not know the Lord? How is going to look to know that you're evangelizing to others, but you're not evangelizing to them as well? So how to go about it, it's kind of similar to how you evangelize the others outside, telling them about what the Lord has done for you and what he can do for them, giving them examples like certain situations that you might know that they've been through and how they went through it and said that is God. You didn't do it by yourself. It wasn't just a figment of your imagination or it just poof out of nowhere that's why it happened, but it was because of the Lord. So it's just about being more like sympathetic and showing empathy and
Yeah.
understanding their perspective, why they might not believe in Christ or why they might seem like it's hard, but just understanding them and trying to use that understanding to
Yeah.
evangelize to them to make it easier for them to come to the Lord.
Yes. Yes. Agreed. Agreed. And just before we go, Nicole wanted to share something about the event that's coming up. So you can do that really, really quickly. We do have to wrap in a few seconds, but you can go ahead, Nicole.
I do two things really, really quickly. So we want to help a family this year. My late mother, she was a champion of nutrition and she was a mentor to students. And so in her honor, we want to offer a 2-year scholarship to a nutrition student at SC of dietetics and nutrition. It's a $200,000 for each year for 2 years value. And applications are now open to second year students, open until this week, Friday. So please visit either the UTech website, the UTech Scholarship Unit website, or send me an email at nutritionjamaica@gmail.com. And we also have a lecture coming up on the school nutrition policy in July, but we'll have more information on that closer to the time. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for making it Campus Connection. We certainly enjoyed sharing with you on this topic of the importance of family. We do have to run. We hate to run because we had so many more questions for you guys, but we're grateful that you could have made it on with us. And to our hardworking production team, to our program director, Dr. Nadine Blair, to all of the Campus Connection crew, thank you so much for your usual help and support. And thanks to all of our guests who were on this episode. We appreciate you. And that's it for our show this week. Campus Connection was brought to you by the Heart NSTA Trust. Skill is power. We'll see you next week as we explore more things while going on campus. I'm Anessa.
And I'm Jonathan. Take care.
Here to the Family Radio, we're broadcasting from Kingston, Jamaica. We're 101 FM, and it's now